me looking for a better response after getting down early in that game in South Bend, and we are underway. Boston College in the lighter uniforms. Kayla Ivey, a talented point guard, coming off a knee injury from last season. Right away, they try to attack the basket. There you see the starters. JoJo Lacey gets the start today for the Eagles. Playing very well the last couple of games and is rewarded with the start. Perseverance pays off. Waggoner gets the putback.
Good activity early on the offensive glass. They've got to find ways to make sure that they stay and put pressure on Notre Dame. If you allow them to be one and done, they're going to rebound and then look to score in transition every time.
Citron, Westbeld, and Hidalgo, who just took the shot, the big three for Notre Dame. Watson had a great idea to get it inside, didn't quite work out, and the ball goes over to Boston College. Notre Dame playing one player short today, Natalia Marshall, their senior forward, who averages 6 points and 3.5 rebounds, a little bit under the weather, non-COVID illness. They left her back at the hotel just to make sure she could get as much rest as possible.
Yeah, Marshall and KK Bransford off the bench are the two main consistent subs. So Notre Dame today could only be 6 deep today.
Depth has been an issue for the Irish, already playing without a couple of starters all season long. Sonia Citron back rims it. Great hustle by Watson to keep it alive. In her second year in South Bend after starting out at Oregon. Westbeld, look at the height differential. Big advantage. Hidalgo always looking. Shot clock dying. Hannah hit the rim, but ball didn't go in.
A good start defensively for Boston College, forcing Notre Dame to shoot contested jump shots. That was the key, Coach Mack told us earlier today. And Sidbury with a nice drive across in the left-handed finish. I really like Taya Sidbury, Pam. She plays a good style of basketball inside. I love a post player that can put the ball on the floor with confidence. Transfer
from Utah. Meanwhile, Notre Dame is 0 from the floor so far. They've missed all 5 of their shots. Rebounded by Westbeld, who has really been on fire lately. Last 6 games, averaging 14 points and 11 rebounds. Missed 1 game this year, sustaining a concussion, a hard hit in a game against Pitt. Watson, her hard work on the boards pays off with a bucket.
Kylie Watson has just been the solid presence inside for the Irish all season. She's an active player. She never stops moving.
Ball just sticking around the perimeter right now. Cut inside for Todd. Jump shot, a little bit short. Rebound falls right into the hands of Waggoner.
Good work there with Sidbury. She got the little tip to be able to give it to Waggoner, and like the intensity that the Eagles are showing on the offensive glass.
Yes, Waggoner is something that Coach Mack said she wanted to see come up big today, and so far she has. Notre Dame looks a little discombobulated on offense early on as we take a look at today's Food Lion, food for thought, and Ice's keys to the game.
Well, starting with the Irish, defend without fouling simply because they have such a short bench, and then offensively getting good to great shot selection. And then for Boston College, ways to generate extra possessions. This comes through offensive rebounds, which we've seen already, but also steals, getting in the passing lanes. And they have to limit the Irish in transition. We know that Hannah Hidalgo and the Irish want to run every possession.
Yeah, that is their bread and butter, and the Eagles lead the league in steals, 6th in the nation. Notre Dame right behind them. Shot clock into single digits. A little bit of a tap, but no foul call. Ivy got it up, count it, and she was fouled.
Ivy, the point guard for this team, but also scoring the basketball. Love the little split dribble there, and then the quick touch.
Nice play for Kayla Ivy, a redshirt junior out of Forestville, Maryland. Yet another great player out of the DMV. And Coach Mack really likes her positive attitude, says she likes a kid with positive banter in practice. And you play D1 basketball, that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the energy level overall, walking into the gym, knowing someone is going to talk, they're going to communicate, they're going to bring everybody else with them. It's a long season, especially when you haven't won as many games as you want. And so that voice, that positivity, critical.
Yeah, it's tough when you're going through a 9-game losing streak. They almost beat Louisville, and as Coach Mack said, almost only counts in horseshoes. But Joanna Burnaby-McNamee, in her 6th year, was the Coach of the Year in this league. 3 years ago, was an assistant along with Jeff Walls on Maryland's 2006 National Championship team. And she's a really good coach. They're going through a tough stretch right now.
Oh, I mean, fantastic. Fantastic coach. And just, this is the type of area where they can rally around women's basketball. She just needs a good stretch of recruiting players to come in, but...
And stay.
Yeah, and stay. I was going to took the words right out of my mouth, Pam. At this day and age, it is so hard to just develop players and then get them to buy in and have the loyalty to stay within your program. There's probably a stat out there for the number of players who have stayed with a school 4 years playing Power 5 basketball, and maybe the list is 10.
Yeah, it's diminishing, unfortunately. Krasovic fouled Westbeld, who hit 1 out of 2 free throws on the other end. Smothering defense. Anna DeWolf has checked in for the Irish. Watson has just been a pest defensively, and then, gosh, is called for the personal foul. Danielle Ivy has been a part of so many national championships teams, either as an assistant coach or as a player back in '01. And believe it or not, she's a grandmother, and her grandson Noah turns 1 on Tuesday. So happy birthday to Noah.
Happy birthday to Noah. But I tell you what, you've got the flyest grandmother in the world. Coach Ivy always has the best game day looks.
And she likes to be called Mimi. None of that grandma
Not
stuff.
grandma,
Way
right.
to go, Mimi. Jaden, her son, Jaden Ivy, plays for the Pistons. They're on the road, so Noah will celebrate his first birthday with Mimi in South Bend on Tuesday.
I love that. Jaden just finished playing in the Rising Stars game for the NBA. It's been great to see his growth with the Pistons, and hopefully it continues. Good pass. Not able to make it, though, is Lacey.
Yeah, talented young man, Jaden. Boy, BC, you got to be impressed with the way that they have come out of the gate. Again, they lost this team by 50 a month ago.
You got to think, as a player, that's the front in your mind is, hey, we can't get, frankly, embarrassed like that again. We've got to have a better showing.
Notre Dame has missed 7 of its 8 shots, but they're falling for JoJo Lacey. Got the start today, and she nailed it.
Lacey has scored in double figures 3 out of her last 5 games, and she's starting to find just that offensive stroke. Coach Mack told us she's getting the same shot she was getting all season. She's now just knocking them down.
Westbeld turned around and was as surprised as anybody that she was that open, but Notre Dame got behind 14-4 in their game against Clemson, came back to win on Thursday. Similar start today. They've gone 3 minutes without a field goal.
Well, they started out in zone, now in man, and when you have Hannah pressuring the ball, it's tough, but the pressure does not matter. Lazama knocking down the jumper. Boston College at home, trying to snap the win streak. Waggoner working hard on the glass. Up 11 early are the Eagles.
The ACC's Committee for Racial and Social Justice, in conjunction with its member institutions, have identified February 17th through the 25th as ACC Unity Week. As part of this initiative, members of Notre Dame and BC joined one another on the court pregame today to demonstrate their commitment to seeing each other as equals and treating each other with respect and dignity at all times, recognizing that our differences don't divide us, but rather make us all stronger. And boy, BC has come out strong, leading 14-3. Pam Ward and Isis Young joining you from Boston College. Notre Dame just 1 of 8 from the floor. Hannah Hidalgo 0 for 4. Boston College already with 14 points. They only had 11 points in the first quarter the first time they played a month ago.
And they've had 8 points in the paint, so they're getting high percentage looks, especially off of the offensive rebounds. 5 of those already for the Eagles.
Krasovic is a Freshman from Hungary gives the ball up. Westbeld gambles on defense, and it pays off with the turnover. Here's Anna DeWolf, transferred from Fordham. She got the ball taken away. Remember, both of these teams are really good at stealing the ball. And here we go, 3 straight turnovers. Hidalgo finally gets a basket, and as she slides into the stanchion, she got fouled.
Hidalgo takes a lot of hits, but does a great job here. Watch the sprint on the right side of your screen. You can see her first 3 steps, that's called a bolt. Sprints and then able to get the transition bucket and the contact. Now, a lot of what she does is just so great, Pam. She just outworks you. When you think that you've got a little bit of a step or you can relax a little bit, Hannah says, nope. That's when she's going into extra gear.
The first field goal in over 4 minutes for Notre Dame. And Hidalgo also very fiery on the court. Is that because she's a Jersey kid?
Oh, you know, we come with a little bit of extra energy, us Jersey girls.
Hidalgo bringing the ball up, along with Juju Watkins. I would say have to be the front runners for National Freshman of the Year. Now she's getting fired up, 2 in a row.
Oh, man, so good off the ball. That time, faked the handoff, and then her mid-range game. I'm really impressed with the way that she scores around the basket in traffic, but also her mid-range game is so good.
Oh, that's so good, isn't it? JoJo Lacey.
On the reverse, that's a good finish.
Lacey getting the start today for Andrea Daly, who is not 100%. A little bit of a strep throat issue this week. Shot clock into single digits now for Hidalgo. Citron's been quiet. Good box out. Krasovic. Ivy settles things down. Coach Mack talked about if we don't have something going on the primary break to run the offense, have patience, that is a moving screen.
Yeah, Krasovic just has to hold her screen there and then wait until after the defense moves. But Hannah so good at splitting the defense. And the little pull-up right before the defense can collapse. And on the other side, look at Lacey here making the nice move around Maddy Westbeld for the finish and the reverse. It's a beautiful move from the senior.
Kylie Watson back in for the Fighting Irish. Chipping into this lead. It's still just 8 points. There they go. That's what Waggoner does. One of the best thieves in all of college basketball, but couldn't finish. Waggoner closing in on the all-time single-season record. How did Hidalgo do that? Oh, she had to basically re-catch it, did it without shuffling her feet, and got the basket.
Yeah, that was just a lot of focus, bit of athleticism as well from the freshman. How about the outlet pass, though? Notre Dame so good at those early pitch-ahead passes.
Hidalgo with 7 quick points after a slow start. Long 3, just off the rim, but Waggoner working.
Yeah, Bransford there has to be a little bit more physical on Waggoner. She is going to expect to miss every single time. That's the best mentality you can have as an offensive rebounder, that every time a shot goes up, you're expecting a miss and you're challenging and pursuing the basketball.
Waggoner with 6 points and 4 rebounds already in this quarter.
He's down there guarding Kylie Watson, who definitely has the size advantage over her.
Brings the double. DeWolf passed up the shot around the horn to Hidalgo. Pull up. Short, but Bransford was able to keep it alive. Hidalgo comes out of the pack. Offensive rebounding machines right now for Notre Dame.
Eventually you knew it was going to result into something good, whether it was a finish or also a foul, and Bransford doing a great job of her energy off the bench. But here, look at the relentlessness on the boards. Bransford misses that one, then goes after the second one. Here comes Hannah, finds herself alone, and another offensive rebound opportunity for Bransford. Again, when you go with that level of intention, that level of relentlessness, you are going to get rewarded.
Lacey called for her first foul. Coming up next, we'll send you to Blacksburg, Virginia, where our game day crew is there. And you talk about a crowd that can get fired up. It's there. They host North Carolina, and then at 5:30 Eastern, Isaiah James and Duke take on NC State. Boy, the ACC has been fantastic this year, predictably unpredictable.
Oh, so good, man. Isaiah James from NC State. If you have not seen that girl hoop, you need to turn that game on. She's got every skill set, every move, every toolbox you can think of, Isaiah James has in her repertoire.
Ivy slowing things down now. Try to take as much time off the clock as we go into the waning seconds of the quarter. But now it's sort of a desperation shot, and it goes in.
Little hand down, man down action from Ivy.
Couldn't have scripted that any better. And a terrific start for the Eagles. They scored 21 points, shooting games. Very difficult conference. They were almost able to pull one out against Louisville, but a great start. I don't think they could have asked for much better.
I think they've done a great job of sharing the basketball already. 4 assists on 9 made field goals, and then another assist from Waggoner, and the defense just keeps coming in waves for the Eagles.
And forcing the turnovers. Boston College ended that quarter hitting 5 of their last 7 shots. Notre Dame missed 6 of their last 7. Sonia Citron has yet to score in this game. Outside shot, rims out. Waggoner, relentless pursuit of the basketball, but the Irish get their hands on it. Stays with the Eagles.
Both teams doing a great job defensively here. 2 teams that are in the top 7 in E1 in steals per game. BC with the edge and just 0.1 over Notre Dame, but talk about getting in the passing lanes, teams that are disruptive defensively. It's Notre Dame and BC.
And Niagara leading the way in steals. Here's Citron. Nice pass to DeWolf, looking for Hidalgo, but a little bit too much on it. But Hannah Hidalgo's never going to give up on a ball that was knocked out of bounds. Stays with the Irish.
Yeah, I think DeWolf should have looked to finish that layup or just dribble it out. Sometimes that baseline pass to someone trailing is a little dangerous. Dribble it out. If you don't have it, then set up the offense.
Anna DeWolf, very familiar to you, Ice Young. You played together at Fordham.
Anna was a true freshman when I was in my 6th year of college basketball at Fordham.
So they gave you a nice nickname, no doubt, right?
I was the grandma.
Exactly.
I was the real grandma. Rehabbing my 2nd ACL tear. Such a good freshman. It's been awesome to see just her career grow. I think that's my favorite part about calling these games now, Pam, is I'm not so far removed. So I'm talking about friends, you know, and it's just awesome to see.
Former teammates.
Yeah, what she's been able to do.
How about that? Yeah, coming after Fordham and starting for Notre Dame. Here comes Hidalgo, full speed ahead, and she is cut off right in front of Coach Ivy. The foul on Anna Todd, sophomore from Vaughan, Ontario.
Lacey almost cut off Coach Ivy and Hannah at the same time.
And Coach is rocking some heels today, so she's not as mobile as usual. Ivy, who played for our Hall of Famer, Muffet McGraw. There you go. Oh, no way.
I was going to say, because Muffet used to wear some stilettos, guys. We were playing against her. She'd be squatting on the sideline in the stilettos. Like, I can barely stand and balance.
I couldn't even get them on my feet. Citron still has not missed a shot. What do you think?
Yeah, those are tough.
At least 4 inches?
Those are tough. You got to see the gold hint in the back, too, on the heel. Yeah, way too high for me, Pam. Way too high for me.
And I'm sure Muffet McGraw is watching this game. Citron draws a foul and has a chance for some free throws.
And for Notre Dame, I thought that they settled a bit too much with jump shots there in that first quarter. So good to see Sonia finding a way to get downhill and get a high percentage look.
Citron, an excellent free throw shooter at 91%. We got gymnastics coming up right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app this afternoon. It's NC State and Pittsburgh. Our coverage begins at 4 Eastern time. Citron finally gets onto the score sheet. Second to Hidalgo, averaging 16 points per game. Hidalgo leading the conference with 24 per game. Not bad for a baby freshman who just turned 19. Waggoner, guarded by Westbeld. Westbeld only has 1 point today. Attacking the rim. And another offensive board.
Again, that was Waggoner involved in that mix, just crashing the O board. She's done such a good job early. Good help, though, by Citron on the dribble.
And Citron ran right in to Lacey.
Citron here, just really good help defense as Waggoner goes to spin dribble. She helps on the other side, kind of came from her blind spot, just being disruptive defensively.
Second foul on JoJo Lacey. Very important component to this team. Irish still ice cold from the floor, shooting just 19% so far.
Again, it's just a lot of contested jump shots they've taken. I mean, Hannah did a good job of getting inside then, but great defense, though, by the Eagles. I just think their defense has been solid and mature. They've had their hands up. They've gotten passing lanes. They haven't committed too many fouls. Been really focused. But that's what you expect, Pam, from a team that's trying to break a 9-game losing streak. You've got to do everything great to beat Notre Dame.
Waggoner, guarded by Watson, who swatted it away, and then a foul. Dontavia Waggoner is listed at 6 feet tall. I don't know about that. But she's gritty, man.
She plays bigger than what she is here. Kylie Watts does a great job of anticipating the pull-up. That's perfect defense. But then Waggoner playing after the second play. Sometimes it's not the first play, but it's the second play. We hear that a lot in soccer. I'm a big soccer fan, but that also goes with basketball. Got her shot blocked, but stayed with it.
Waggoner just a 59% free throw shooter. That foul was on Maddy Westbeld, her first. Waggoner played her freshman year at NC State. Get a lot of playing time and has been up north since. She's from Nashville. There's your former teammate, Anna DeWolf, coming back in the game.
She goes by AD now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw her
just
earlier in the
graduated
season.
to that now, huh?
I said, hey, Anna. She said, I'm AD now.
Kid from Maine, Cumberland, Maine.
Right.
Oh, that's not good. She got it taken away. Lazama. Anna DeWolf. 3-time first-team All-Big Ten player at Fordham. Lost the ball.
Yeah, just bobbled it there. And then, Boston College is on every single loose ball, tip, deflection. They've got the energy, just push right now. It seems like the momentum is in their favor.
Notre Dame again trying to stay in the hunt for a top 4 seed in the ACC tournament. And Boston College looking to be a spoiler as they close out their season. We've got Carolina and Pitt after this. DeWolf. Ball made its way to Hidalgo with the shot clock winding down. Little misdirection. She got hit and hit the shot.
Must-see TV is Anna DeWolf. One of my favorite things about her game is she can create something out of nothing here. The nice crossover, the pull-up, and the finish. Beautiful.
Anna Hidalgo, 11-time recipient of the ACC Rookie of the Week. That is a new record that stood for all of 1 year. Tanaya Latson had 10 last year down in Florida State. But these kids just come in, freshmen, and there's no learning curve. It seems they just take over.
Well, yeah, Pam, I mean, back in my day, 5 years ago, I felt like as freshmen, you would come into the college basketball scene and you would have to learn, right? You'd automatically be put in your place as a freshman to learn, to be quiet, to absorb, to be a sponge, and then to follow others. But we're seeing a new era of freshmen across the country that are the leaders, that are telling their teams what to do, that are bringing that confidence.
Waggoner with the shot clock dying, didn't hit iron. And you look out west, Juju Watkins had another 40-point game for USC, and I think she and Hannah are the top 2 for National Freshman of the Year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, make no doubt about it. I think for Hannah to be leading the ACC, the best team in the country, best conference in the country, in my opinion, in scoring, and then all of Division I in steals as a freshman, it's just unheard of. And you're absolutely right with Juju. She has one of the most smoothest games I've ever seen.
Daly missed it, and then Citron got a hand on it. Let's take a look at our star stories for players that have been crushing it of late, brought to you by Crush. Look at this company. This is the top 3 scorers in the country. You might have heard of Caitlin Clark, but the other 2 are true freshmen.
And 28 points a game for Juju Watkins. Just has been put in the Pac-12 on a terror. And then we talked so much about Hannah, but I think what most impresses me about Hannah amongst this lineup is that she's a point guard. This is a freshman that is leading a team in the ACC. Juju Wright is an off-ball guard. She's a scorer. She's a 2 guard. That is her job. But Hannah's job is also to get everyone else involved, to make sure that she's the coach on the floor. I mean, it's just tremendous responsibility for a freshman that just turned 19.
Yeah, and she's not only scoring, but she's second in the conference in assists, trailing only Georgia Amore, who is a terrific senior point guard at Virginia Tech. And with the injury, especially to Olivia Miles, who got hurt late last year, everything is on her shoulders, and she has done beautifully with it.
Yeah. Just sometimes the beauty of being a freshman, you don't know what you don't know, and so maybe the pressure doesn't get to you like it would a junior or senior.
Notre Dame 0 for 9 from 3, but we have a foul on the floor with Boston College up 22-16.
There, especially something that ties to you, like you said, like the hoops are her thing, but it's just really impressive to see what she's done across the country this season as a freshman. I got my mom an extra pair of hoops too.
All right.
Like you couldn't get just one.
Nail's got some hoops.
Yeah.
And also some words of advice for Hannah as Westbeld goes 1 of 2 from the line. Boston College has missed its last 8 shots from the floor, but they're still up 5 because Notre Dame can't hit on the other end unless it's Hannah.
They've done a good job of generating those extra possessions through steals and offensive rebounds. But I think back to what Coach Mack said, she said, when we're not getting our first option, whether it's in transition or on the post-up, continue to run the offense. Right now, they're trying to find it to Waggoner. She's got a mismatch with DeWolf guarding her.
Now they need to get something. Oh, boy, with just under 4 seconds left on the shot clock, Notre Dame committed a foul, even though they had Waggoner trapped.
And Wagner's working hard here. DeWolf is trying to take away that ball and might have just gotten her a bit on the arm.
It's the 3rd foul on Notre Dame, not on the bonus yet for BC. Hidalgo gets it and goes. What a pass to DeWolf on the money.
Great job by Hannah. Just as soon as she gets that ball, she takes one dribble and her head is up immediately. She is looking for runners. And then DeWolf does a great job of cutting and running in that lane where she could get it to her.
That's perfect, right amount of velocity as well. Westbeld called for another foul. Let's go back to that sweet play.
We talk about these early pitch ahead. One dribble, head is up immediately, and then delivers that pass on time, on target. Great run as well by DeWolf. Notre Dame just so good at sprinting the floor. This is why they score in transition, because once they get that rebound, if you relax for a half of second, their sprinters are getting down the floor.
Westbeld picks up her 2nd foul. That was a great pass by Hidalgo to split the defense. Here's Sidbury now at the line, a sophomore from Salt Lake City, played her freshman year at Utah last season. Pac-12 with some terrific teams as well this season. Unfortunately, the final year of the Pac-12, heartbreaking.
It is, it is. I've been impressed with UCLA and watching Coach Corey Close. Obviously, we've talked about USC and Utah.
Stanford, always Stanford.
Oh, man, it is just so deep over there.
Gia Barnes in Arizona upset him at Maples.
Yes. Yeah, Jada Williams had a very good game.
Yeah.
You know, she was a big name in high school when we first started getting into these NIL conversations, but she's been playing well as of late, and Notre Dame with a turnover, offensive foul called on the screen.
Yeah, that is on Watson. So Notre Dame, the big 3, Hidalgo, Citron, and Westbeld. We should take a look at the screen. A little bit of contact there. So Hidalgo, 10 points. Citron and Westbeld, just 2 points between them and 0 field goals.
It's been tough, but also, Pam, talk about just defending without fouling. That's the key. Watson now has 2.
So does Westbeld.
Yes, and Westbeld's on the bench. So if I'm Boston College right now, going inside. Get someone a touch inside, look to go one-on-one. Really challenge the Irish to see if they can defend without fouling.
Boston College is being outscored 8-2 in this quarter. They led by 10 after one quarter of play. KK Bransford looking for an answer. Citron got her first field goal.
Sonia Citron just so good on that rip through. She's a straight line driver. She will attack your hip as a defender and then find an angle to finish.
Just 9 games after spraining her knee earlier in the season. Coach Ivy told us that she is looking like the Sonia of old, which is great news for the Irish. She and Hidalgo so dynamic together.
And I was going to say, still only a junior is Sonia Citron. So another year with her, with Hannah. We get Olivia Miles back, Pam.
Yeah, look out for the Irish. They have another great recruiting class coming in as the ball comes over to the Irish.
Sonia Citron just catches this ball, middle of the defense. Look, the quick rip through, attacks the hip, and then gets that ball up on the glass. Such a good job finishing inside as Citron. Really love her touch around the basket as well.
And there she is, Olivia Miles. Boy, did they miss her. Averaged 14.5 points, led the team in rebounding and assists last year as well. Got hurt in the last regular season game of the year against Louisville. The Wolf, nope.
Olivia Miles was just so special to watch. Another Jersey point guard.
There you go, had to get it in. Hey, they're 0 for 11 from 3, Notre Dame. That's very atypical. They usually hit 6 a game, which is in the bottom third of the ACC, but very rarely do they go 0 for. Meanwhile, BC has gone over 2 minutes without scoring. During that time, they've had 3 turnovers.
BC now in their zone kind of jump defense. You never know who's rotating or where. Watson goes inside. I like that move by Watson. Get a high percentage look. She has a very good step through move and then the finish with the left.
So Watson ties things up. Boston College, their offense really struggling after they scored 21 in the first quarter. As we expected, a lot of steals and turnovers with these 2 defenses.
Everyone getting on the ground. First to the floor.
Yes.
First to the floor.
Like you're taking a chance every time you dribble the basketball. Ivy almost got it taken away by DeWolf. Neal and Kayla, by the way, not related. And then another takeaway. That's Todd. Off the rim. Waggoner can't get the follow.
Now Waggoner has to be a bit more composed. It's such a good offensive rebound, but you've got to finish those.
DeWolf, straight up main right there, right? Notre Dame's first lead.
In transition is where they get their momentum and confidence.
A minute to go, less than a minute to go. Coming up on the halftime report, Justin Walters. We talked about Muffin McGraw. We should be watching anyway, but she's in the studio, so she will be there to have some highlights and stats, and no doubt look ahead to what will be a great day. Virginia Tech and North Carolina following us. Oh, Hannah Hidalgo plays the ball.
And that's what I'm saying, Pam. The way that she can score the basketball inside the paint at 5'6". She does such a good job of just squaring up her shoulders and finding the angle, not ever worried about the contact. In fact, I actually think she likes getting hit when she gets to the basket.
She's 5'6", but so rugged. Boston College has missed 12 straight shots from the floor.
I was going to say, their last couple of looks have been layups. That's a nasty collision there. But their last couple of looks have been layups. They just have not been able to finish. And off another split, and then here, just see how she squares her shoulders. She takes her time in the air. She finishes all too easy. And then this was the collision here. Isavec went for that. Bransford fell over top of her. Love to see players going after the ball and being physical. You just want everybody to stay healthy and safe at this point in the season, Pam.
And this is a lot of numbers, but the most important thing, the only player in D1, NBA, or the W in the last 25 years to have a 12-game stretch like that for Hannah.
And to just fill up the stat sheet, scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, sharing the basketball, and then defending. I've often said about Hannah that I think the best part of her game is really her defense. She is the player on the court that can change a game through her defense, and we don't see a lot of those. We talk about all the scorers, we talk about all the players that can knock down shots on the outside. Can you shoot the logo three? Yes, but can you change the game with the way that you guard? Few can do that, and that is really Hannah's calling.
And then you factor in the offensive part of it, and it's terrifying. This is a 16-1 run for the Irish. Ivy trying to get something going. Boston College has scored 2 points in this quarter. Waggoner has been doing most of the work for them, and she ends the drought. So Dontavia Waggoner certainly doing her part. 8 rebounds this game than they made field goals, and as we mentioned, they missed their first 12 before Waggoner hit one. Pam Ward, along with Isis Young, who played her college ball at Syracuse, also a teammate of Anna DeWolf at Fordham. Please, you can start your Sunday with us as we all look forward to Virginia Tech and North Carolina coming up next. But Boston College lost to Notre Dame by 50, yes, half 100 when they played last month in South Bend. Got off to a good start in this one. And despite that bad second quarter, they're only down 4 points.
I'm going to say Notre Dame also known to start games off a little slow sometimes, and they pick it up in the third quarter. Westbeld knocks down the three, and she spent a little bit of time on the bench because she had those 2 fouls in the first half.
That's the first 3 that Notre Dame has hit in this game. First field goal for Westbeld. Another missed shot. More players hit the deck. The ball stays with the Irish.
Talked about Westbeld, just part of the big 3 for the Irish. She has to get in on the scoring. Late close out there, and she had all time and space to knock it down.
Yeah, pardon me, it's BC ball. Citron and Westbeld in the first quarter were combined 1 for 8 from the floor. Westbeld did hit some free throws, but that 3, her first field goal. Here comes Citron, who was 1 for 6 from the floor in the first half. Hidalgo with style, at least gets a chance to hit free throws. Everybody in the building knows she's going to drive to the basket, and you still can't stop her.
I mean, the problem is, if you're going to try to stop Hannah Hidalgo, you can't wait until she gets to the three-point line scoring opportunity. You got to stop her early here. Creates the contact, tried to go with the right away from the defense. Would have been a nifty finish for the freshman.
Right into our camera operator there underneath the basket. Hannah wanted to make sure everybody was okay. Mike is fine, our camera operator. Great crew we got here at BC. Mike Baker, our producer. Hidalgo gets 1 out of 2. Notre Dame extends its lead to 8. Very dangerous time right now for BC.
And they have to find a way just to continue to get high percentage looks, and especially with Notre Dame against the zone, you want to get that ball to the baseline area. I think they've played with it too much here in the Premier. Get the ball to the baseline and make that defense shift.
There's much needed bucket for Todd.
Good flash from the opposite to the elbow. Nice knockdown.
Todd coming off a 17-point game against Florida State. Uh-oh, Westbeld's heating up. She's got a couple of threes.
That's a nice dime, too, by Hidalgo. Came right off the screen. Saw Westbeld as the trailer.
Now Westbeld gets another rebound. Bothered intensely there by Todd. That's what the Eagles do. Lead the ACC in steals. Nice look. DeWolf to Hidalgo. Timeout, Eagles. So the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have come out on fire. A couple of threes by Westbeld to start things off. All of a sudden, it's an 11-point advantage.
The Irish start the third quarter on a 9-2 run thanks to some really nice passing. It's Hidalgo off the screen as Westbeld 2 for 2 from 3. Good to see her get on the action. And then DeWolf, the no-look bounce pass in transition. And tell you what, it's the best thing ever as a player when you're getting out in transition, you're getting easy looks, and the offense is starting to flow. Look at that scoring margin for the Irish, 19 the average on the season.
Very good defensively on the perimeter, and only Virginia Tech averages more assists per game, and we've seen some really pretty ones so far. Notre Dame got off to a slow start, trailed by 10 after 1, and since then they have taken over as they are going for their 21st win of the year. BC trying to avoid a 10-game losing streak. Watt Watson with the big block. Hidalgo in traffic, still got the shot off. The ball goes over to Boston College.
And Kylie Watson with their second block of the game. Great job here anticipating. Completely swatted that one away.
He's in the top 10 in the league in block shots.
And Notre Dame surprisingly fourth in the ACC in blocks. And I mean, we talk about how good Kylie Watson is, Maddy Westbeld, but they're not the biggest players in the ACC, Pam. Still, though, very good defensively.
Another block, this time by Westbeld. You just mentioned it.
Closing down space quickly, almost with the giveaway, but Westbeld saves it.
Good hands right in the passing lane by Krasovic.
Yeah, I thought Hidalgo there just got a little too overzealous trying to make the pass, and then a travel on the other side as Waggoner shuffled her feet. Well, Maddy Westbeld has joined the Irish block party here. Gets Lacey on the pull-up. That's an awesome contest. Great job by Westbeld to close that space.
Maddy coming off a 13.12 rebound double-double, had a 15 and 15 double-double in their first game against Boston College. It's a 50-point win for the Irish. Westbeld, here she is.
Yeah, that's money for her. She has started every game of her Notre Dame career, all 113. And that shot, Pam, she has hit probably more than 113 times. That one dribble pull-up at the free throw line is money for her.
Yeah, she has missed some games because of injury, but when she plays, she starts. And she's good.
Been a staple of this program. And good activity on the glass, and the and one is rewarded. That's Krasovic getting in on the action, and a good job by Boston College to stay on the glass. Sometimes when you haven't scored in a while, you need those type of opportunities and extra possessions. And watch Krasovic here, just not accepting the box out, gets the tip to herself, and the left-handed finish.
Krasovic, a freshman from Budapest, played on some Hungarian national teams the last 3 summers.
And we talked about just the 9-game losing streak for the Eagles, and it's been tough. I mean, ACC basketball, so you're playing a ranked opponent every day, every other day, but the bright spot with this team, they are young. They have some freshmen, they've got sophomores. I mean, Coach Mack told us the seniors we have, they're here, but the freshmen and sophomores they can build upon.
Citron gets the basket. 12-point advantage. Kayla Thompson, one of those freshmen you talked about, number 1. Pass the ball off. Notre Dame goes over to the Irish coming up on Wednesday on the ACC Network. It's men's basketball. Duke, Louisville at 7 Eastern. And then the premiere of Coach K and Roy Williams Rivals Reunited, a 1-hour special featuring those 2 coaching legends. Check it out Wednesday on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Duke, Carolina. Nothing like it, certainly in this conference. The Wolf, short. Here come the Eagles. And another travel. Boy, turnovers really have been biting Boston College in this game. Boston College also has missed 18 of its last 21 shots. They've scored 9 points since a 21-point first quarter.
Yeah, the Irish really just have picked up their defensive intensity, and now we're seeing a little bit of that youth that Coach Mack told us about, just not being composed all the time.
The Wolf had it knocked away by Waggoner, who's having a really nice game for the Eagles on both ends of the floor. Watson almost forced a turnover. Maddy Westbeld wanted that to be a held ball call, but instead I believe it's going to be a foul on Watson.
Well, Maddy Westbeld was limited in the first half because of foul trouble, but in the second, she has gotten it started defensively with the block and then the pull-up. That's money, and the Irish up double digits here on the road.
For years, No one in the history of Utah high school girls basketball scored more points than her, and it's a shame she sprained her ankle a couple of days ago in practice. She's her second leading scorer on the season, and unfortunately, her minutes have been limited today.
Sid Berry, so good at scoring inside, only has played 10 minutes today. And think about just second leading scorer. A lot that they're using with this Lung team and not having her in the game. But BC out of the timeout comes a little bit of pressure defense, forces the turnover.
And their last game against Florida State, before she hurt that ankle, 19 points and 9 rebounds. Oh. And as you mentioned, their second leading scorer. And when you need scoring, especially against Notre Dame, it really hurts to not have her on the floor. But I'm telling you, Dontavia Waggoner, we featured her in the open, and she has shown out today.
Well, I like the adjustment there by Coach Mack. I had talked earlier about attacking the baseline in the zone, and that time she had 2 post players on the block and a post player in the middle. So you overload the baseline, you change how the zone looks.
Waggoner gave him a second chance. Hidalgo with the miss. Waggoner probably should have shot it.
Only Hannah Hidalgo would get a steal on a 3-on-1 opportunity.
Yes, Bransford nice on the other end. And I think that's a tough one. Yeah, you're right. You're 3-on-1. You're thinking we got 2 points, but Hidalgo's never going to give up on a play.
Never. And I think with Hidalgo, you've got to anticipate that she's going to go for the steal, which normally happens on the pass. So I think she should have kept that finish in transition, and maybe a little bit of a frustration foul as well from Waggoner.
Waggoner picks it up. Watson, by the way, has 2 fouls. Want to clean something up. Maddy Westbeld has 3 fouls, and here we go, Hidalgo.
Yeah, right, so Hidalgo just anticipated it's a 2-on-1. Normally you want to give it up, and then the steal, beautiful outlet pass, and KK with a nice finish.
He asked Niele Ivey if Hannah Hidalgo would hit the freshman wall you always hear about, and she said no, she is not. Just powering through everything. Still has freshman moments, but that's to be expected. Especially when she has the ball in her hand so much. That is nice work by KK Bransford. At a season-high 13 points at home against Boston College, and now has 7 in this one.
Yeah, KK is an important role to this team. Just the main contributor off the bench, averages 7.5 and then 4.5 rebounds as well. And trying to thread the needle from up top, the Eagles turning the ball over.
Count it, Sonia Citron. And I love Hidalgo is kind of fiery and very emotional. Citron's like, yeah, you know, I'm just playing basketball.
Citron, 3 C's, calm, cool, and collected until you catch her in transition. Then she is on the go here. Decides to take it herself, gets an angle on the defense. A little bit of contact she initiated to get the and one and the finish. This is a veteran move. Sonia Citron, you talk all the time about Hannah Hidalgo and how great she is, but Hannah would not be Hannah without Sonia, because you have to have someone that you can give those assists to. You have to have someone that can stretch the defense with you, and Sonia just as good as any 2-guard in the country at doing those things and scoring the basketball.
Averaging 16 points per game. Slow start today. She's up to 9. Also has 5 rebounds. That's the third on Watson.
A gutsy pass to try and thread the needle to the baseline. I just would like to see the ball either go high post for the Eagles or go to the wing and then go to the baseline. You don't have to make the heroic play. Sometimes you just gotta make the simple one.
So both Watson and Westbeld with 3 fouls. Looks like Watson will be subbed out, but there's a nice finish for Sid Berry.
Yeah, she does a great job finishing over her right shoulder. Really nice touch around the basket.
2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hidalgo, a little head shake. Rid herself of the defender.
Oh, that, the shake and bake, Pam.
Lacey with the rebound. Now coming up, a little razzle-dazzle on her own, but that's a little bit short.
Nice finish, though. Coach Mack told us Todd, one of the few players on the team that can take it one-on-one, and Citron right now just having a field day in transition as the junior. Another coast-to-coast bucket.
And Citron with good size out there on the perimeter as well. It's 6'1".
She's long, too. I mean, that wingspan makes all the difference when you're trying to finish over taller defenders.
Ivy off the rim. Nice save by Todd that ended up in the basket for Ivy. The Wolf blocked. Sid Perry coming up with the block.
Look at the hustle here on the offensive boards. Flies in out of nowhere is Todd and then saves it. Lacey with the quick finish. Love to see that type of hustle from Todd.
Good job by the sophomore Canadian who played her senior year of high school down in Florida. Had a foul called on Anna DeWolf, her second for the Irish. And number 10, Becky Obinma, a graduate who went to Pepperdine and TCU before Notre Dame, is in for Watson, who sits with 3 fouls. Dontavia Waggoner is a ball magnet.
She just works hard, never stops moving. You can't relax when you're guarding her. She's gonna attack when you least expect it here. And again, just her consistency on the offensive glass. That was a shot, got deflected, just does not give up. And she has drawn a lot of fouls today on the Irish.
Binma committed that foul. Coming up next, we're going to send you to Blacksburg. They are going to be on fire down there. Those fans are excited because game day is there. It's the Hokies in Carolina. And at 5:30 Eastern, it's Duke and NC State at Cameron Indoor. Just 3 regular season games left to go in the ACC, including today.
That time of the year where I start getting a little sad. I'm like, no, it's almost over.
Goes by quickly, but then
Man,
the tournament in Greensboro again this season. Notre Dame, so important to get into the top 4. You get a double bye all the way through to the quarterfinals. You don't want to play on Wednesday or Thursday. Bransford dribbled into a lot of trouble. Waggoner, why not? She's been doing all the work, or most of it, I should say.
Having a very nice double-double performance right now, 15 and 11.
And then Notre Dame comes down and finishes on the other end. It's Anna DeWolf.
Notre Dame gets down the court faster than I think anybody I've seen. You take a look at your notes and look up, and it's a layup being
and then
made.
It's like, oops, I missed a bucket. Shot clock is off. Game clock is skinny. Hidalgo was able to knock it away. So Boston College could not get a shot off. Notre Dame outscored BC 20. Notre Dame trying to obviously win this game today. And then they finish with Virginia Tech and Louisville. The good news, they're both at home.
Yeah, it's going to be really important for the Irish just to close out this stretch. They can go 2-0, that'd be great. But even 1-1 on splitting against those ranked opponents. And talk about hosting for NCAA tournament. I did that my junior year at Syracuse. Man, it's the best thing ever to know that everyone is coming to your home to play good basketball.
And that's what's coming up. That Louisville game will be on ESPN. BC trying to play spoiler, take on North Carolina here, and then finish up at Pitt. And again, Virginia Tech, North Carolina follows us on the ACC network. It's going to be a very interesting, not just NCAA tournament, but the ACC tournament with all those teams bunched up. It could be, you could see some upsets and maybe a team win that no one expected.
I was going to say NC State has won it back-to-back times. They have been dominant over the last 3 years. Westmore and his group just terrific in terms of tournament play. But you're absolutely right. It could be anyone's game. It's all about matchups.
Notre Dame has won 5 ACC tournaments. They swept in their first 4 years, both the regular and the ACC tournament when Buffett McGraw was the head coach. As they came into the ACC with a bang, Westbeld having a heck of a second half.
It's expected to start off a little bit slow on the road here. Just hadn't got what she wanted. Man, Hannah all over Ivy with her defense.
Shot clock into single digits. Dontavia Waggoner.
First of all, what is her vertical, Pam? Because I feel like every time I see her sky into the air, I'm like thinking she's almost at the rim.
Yeah, again, listed at 6 feet and plays a whole lot taller. Got a double-double today, first of the season for her, and that is a charge.
And Dontavia Waggoner just doing everything on both sides of the basketball for her Eagles right here. Off of the shot, offensive rebound, put back. That's what she's so good at. And then defensively here, Hannah goes to her signature floater, but Waggoner working smarter, not harder, takes the charge.
Westbeld cutting off the baseline defensively. Pass into traffic. Waggoner gets it out. And the jumper is true for Andrea Daly. And that is her first points of the afternoon. She's their leading scorer, averaging a career-high 14 points per game.
I like the...
Just mentioning she's coming back from a strep throat, so she's not 100%.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, just trying to recover. Hasn't played as many minutes today either. And you know, BC putting on this type of performance against Notre Dame. They haven't played Sidbury a lot. They have not played Daly, so their top two scorers have just not been on the court much.
Yeah, that has certainly hurt them. But she is taking away a lot of the pain. 19 now for Waggoner.
I thought she should have flexed after that. That was some awesome strength she showed on the baseline move.
19 points, 12 rebounds. Citron, Westbeld, who was able to gather and get off a nice on-balance shot.
Yeah, Westbeld, one of the best flashers in college basketball. She always finds those pockets to move into and then has a quick, nice release from the mid-range.
Hidalgo continuing to just be a nuisance on defense. And quickly the trap. That left Daly wide open, but Hidalgo is so fast. Another whistle, no basket, a foul on Notre Dame before the shot attempt.
Hey, Boston College still battling here in the third. First it's Daly knocking down the triple from outside. And then on the inside, we have talked so much about Waggoner, but here off the bounce, creates the contact finish. Really impressed with her stretch, and playing like a senior is what comes to mind right now. You know, sometimes these stretches are tough. 9-game losing streak, ACC basketball. It's easy for you to lay down and not want to come every game to play, but Waggoner, complete opposite. She is on go mode like we just started the season today.
Shot clock, an issue right now for BC. Hit the rim, but Westbeld is able to gather the miss. Hidalgo, certainly the iron person for this Notre Dame squad, playing just about every play, and that's just a perfect look in, right, to Westbeld.
Yeah, nice little lob. Westbeld's so good at sealing, and she pushed her defender up the lane so she had more space to catch and finish. I tell you what, Pam, I couldn't stand playing against Notre Dame. They just have high IQ players. Yeah. You know, every time you make the wrong decision, they are going to make you pay. Talk about making you pay, though. Dontavia Waggoner.
What an afternoon for Waggoner. Let's go back to Westbeld and the feed from Hidalgo.
And see how she's sealing Ivy up the lane so she can find that space to catch the lob and then a quick finish. But you're right, Pat. You know, Waggoner just not finished from the free throw line, but the way she scored inside and her size, athletic ability, just a workhorse.
Yeah, the only thing she's done wrong is miss 6 of her 9 free throws, but take a look. What a day for the senior from Nashville. 21 points and 13 rebounds. First double-double of the season, and needing to do it, as you mentioned, with both Daly being, and Sidbury not being 100%, pardon me. And she has certainly answered the call. Citron, little lob. Watson gives it up to Hidalgo, who streaked in on the baseline.
High IQ, ball went middle, defense was focused on the ball. Hidalgo with the back cut and the finish.
Hidalgo with 17.
And the Irish as well, 14 assists on 24 made field goals. They share the ball so well.
Citron with the rejection, and then another foul Waggoner has drawn a ton of fouls.
Oh, Hannah Hidalgo, one of the best players in the country, also one of the smartest. The back cut on the weak side, the finish inside, the freshman willing her team to victory on the road. Notre Dame up double digits. Their start, where they learn the game, and I had the pleasure of, seeing Hannah grow up. I've known her since she was about 7. Again, this picture 10 years ago, so she would have been 9, and her mother, an assistant coach for us. Our high school team is a top 5 team in the country, but Hannah has just really been around good basketball all of her life. Her father coached her in high school when she was at Paul VI, where she finished her career, and really just adore her family and the time I spent with them.
Westbeld gets the rebound and is able to keep it from being tied up. And I'm guessing Hannah was at the gym all the time too, right?
All the time. I mean, she used to come up to my kneecaps, I felt like, and just wanting to be in drills, rebounding, passing, playing against her brothers as Westbeld scores inside. Just a real hooper. And I think you could tell from a young age that she was going to be so good. And it's amazing to follow her journey and see her growth.
Ivy with the miss. That's an aggressive box out that will result in a foul. Thursday night at 10 Eastern, after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC, highlights and analysis of every game, and a look ahead right here on the ACC network and the ESPN app. Buffett, Kelsey, Ivory, Kelly Gramlich.
And I tell you, I used to nickname myself Isis Ivory Latta.
Really?
Oh, I could watch Ivory Latta play every day, all day. I just love the intensity she played with, the way she scored the basketball. Like, she was just so fiery, but yet so controlled.
Bransford just drew the foul. Now Ivory, one of our colleagues on the ACC network. Dontavia Waggoner with her first double-double of the season, but just not enough. We mentioned that Sid Berry averaging 13.5 points per game, Daly averaging 14 points per game. Daly dealing with a strep throat, Sid Berry with a bum ankle, so they have not been able to contribute. And certainly when you're playing a team like Notre Dame, you need all hands on deck, and it's just unfortunate that they're not 100%.
It's that time in the season when just, all the travel, the plane rides, the long trips, it kind of gets to you, and you got to take care of your body.
They've only combined for 8 points today. Usually they average 27.5 as a tandem.
And especially with Notre Dame playing their zone that they normally do, Sid Berry would have been a really good factor inside. And the few times we've seen her score, she has caused a little bit of havoc for them in the paint.
Boston College has not scored in over 2 minutes. Meanwhile, Notre Dame's going to sit on a 6-0 run. If you're just joining us, Coach Mack's team led by 10 after 1 quarter, but then only scored 4 points in the second. And since then, Notre Dame has kind of put the hammer down. Maddy Westbeld only had 2 points at the break. She has 16 here in the second half.
The previous play is under review for timing.
It's Tiara Cruz, assisted by Mark Berger and Nick Capel this afternoon. Chestnut Hill, a very sunny but cold day, just outside of Boston. While we have time, we want to remind you that gymnastics is in full swing now, and our next meet is on the ACC network and the ESPN app. You don't have to wait long. It's NC State and Pitt. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern after North Carolina, Virginia Tech women's basketball. So they're not looking for a foul. They want to make sure that the timing is correct. Right now showing 3:10 to go with 30 seconds left on the shot clock.
After review, the timing error is corrected to a reset of the shot clock.
All right, so there is a full reset. Nice quick job. Cruz, one of the veterans that we see. Boy, you talk about road trips. These officials always have road games, and we see them all the time in the airports at 5 in the morning, ungodly times, and they just keep on rolling. And they don't charter.
Right, exactly.
Like a lot of the teams do. Hidalgo skies it. draws another foul. Oh, might be a little shaken up. That is her second. She just gets up smiling. That is her second rendezvous with the basketball support today.
Coming in hot. A little bit of contact, tries to get up on the glass, and then the slide. I'm telling you, she spends a lot of time on the ground.
Fighting Irish without Olivia Miles all year. Boy, it's scary. I think if they would have had Miles in tandem with Hidalgo.
Oh. And you talk about Cass Prosper that played earlier in the season, and talked to Coach Ivy earlier when I had their game. She was just starting to click, was Cassandra Prosper, and then came up with an injury as well. And I mean, this team had the roster and the depth to be one of the best, and still are number 19 in the country, but absolutely right. I mean, that duo between Hidalgo and Miles, it would have been night-night for everybody else across the country. I'm not sure what guard duo would have been as good as those two.
Yeah, you could have gotten Hidalgo off the ball a little bit. And there you see the ACC in the top 25. Carolina receiving votes, especially if they can beat Tech today. They're going to get in because they just upset NC State. And Notre Dame was picked second in the ACC by a so-called panel of experts. I'm on it, so I don't know how expert that is. So behind Virginia Tech. And right now they're trying to get into the top 4, but yeah, you're right. Prosper is someone I don't think is. Citron got another bucket. Prosper probably not talked about enough. 8 points and 4 rebounds for the Montreal native. And Sonia Citron from Hidalgo. And Notre Dame right now putting on a clinic in the second half.
Foot on the gas. Beautiful back cut by Citron. Nice pass to her. And then this started with Hannah's defense on the ball. A bit too much. Citron finds it in the finish with the contact. And you're right, they don't stop. When you're one of the best teams in the country at this point in the game, you smell blood and you want to attack. And they've done just that.
Notre Dame up now 72-49. Got off to a slow start against Clemson on Thursday. Came back to win that game at home. There is a foul. Interesting to me, Notre Dame the last few seasons has had their senior night on games that are not their last home games. And in part because you took part in these, they could be very emotional and can throw some teams off.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's all about that timing that you're alluding to. And, you know, senior night is emotional, especially if you've been at a program for a number of years. You're finally saying goodbye. You get everyone come back. And talk about programs like Notre Dame as well, a fantastic alumni base. And you see a lot of familiar faces come back, and definitely agree, though, maybe not playing the toughest opponent on a senior day at home.
They did play Clemson, and they were down 14-4 in that game, so it was a slow start. They were able to gather it and were able to win that game. Good defense, almost a 5-second call. DeWolf has Obinma. First basket of the day for the graduate student from California. Master's program now at Notre Dame, and got a block.
Yeah, good minutes here. You often look at, you know, when it's a couple minutes left in the game and this score, that maybe it doesn't matter, but for players that normally don't get a lot of minutes, this is your time to prove yourself. This is your time to get those reps and show your coach what you can do. Obinma starting off well defensively and offensively.
DeWolf with the little step through. I think, did you teach her that at Fordham?
Nah, matter of fact, she used that on me our first practice, Pam. She's got a toolbox, one that I'm such a fan of. AD.
All right, so Notre Dame pulling away here in the second half. Now, they led at the half by 4, even though Citron and Westbeld got off to slow starts themselves, but very different story for them in the second half for Coach Ivy.
And this game has looked like their last one versus Clemson. At halftime, it was a very close game, 1 or 2 point differential. But then in the second half, the stars, the veterans, they come out and play basketball. Westbeld with 16 and just looks so confident in the second half here in terms of her scoring ability. And good call by the referees, a bit movement there on the screen.
Now, Hannah Hidalgo is sitting on the bench. She just was taken out a few seconds ago, and that's the first time she has sat in this entire game. She averages over 35 minutes per game. And she looks like she could go for another 35.
Oh, she's a kid, as you told me earlier. She can go forever.
Barely breaking a sweat. But another great game for Hidalgo. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Let's see if we get our... Oh, 4 steals. It's Hannah being Hannah.
Stat stuffer.
Actually, 4 steals for her is disappointing. She's averaging 5. It's an off day.
Just think what a luxury it must be for Coach Ivy when you put a player like her on the court and you know that all the different areas of the game she's going to affect.
Nene Njai, true freshman from Senegal, at the line. Notre Dame, 16 of 20 from the line. They were 19 of 26 in their first game. So they got to the line and delivered. DeWolf with the 3. There's quite a few Notre Dame fans here, including the young man behind me who leapt up like they just won the title.
Yeah, the Irish
Awesome.
travel well.
And a foul with 7.1 seconds left to go. So Boston College is about to drop its 10th straight game. They will fall to 3-13 in the ACC. They host North Carolina next, then they go on the road to Pitt. But Coach Mack before the game said she was happy that every game was, the team was still playing hard in practice, trying to make every game competitive, and we certainly have seen that competitive fire from Dontavia Waggoner.
Yeah, Waggoner with the 6th career double-double today, and just played hard start to finish, but the Irish just too good on the road, and they get the win.
Season high 25 points for Waggoner to go along with 15 rebounds, but it was too much Notre Dame. They take it by the final of 79-55. Big second half.